Folks, the Democratic clown car just pulled into El Salvador this week. Horns were blaring, wheels were wobbling, and guess who was driving? Maryland Senator Chris Van Hollen. This guy, who usually couldn't make headlines after he lit his socks on fire at a CNN brunch, decided to hop on down on a taxpayer-funded flight to San Salvador just to rescue a suspected MS-13 gang member.
So I asked the vice president if I could meet with Mr. Abrego Garcia. And he said, well, you need to make earlier provisions to go visit CCON.
Yep, you heard it right. Kilmar Abrego Garcia, an illegal alien, chilling in a Salvadorian jail, right where he belongs, by the way, and Van Hollen thought to go rescue him. Now, the media calls Abrego Garcia a Maryland man because apparently trespassing into our country makes you a state resident. ICE deported him on the 12th day of March. The Trump team says he's got ties to MS-13. They've got pictures of him hanging out with gangbangers and wearing MS-13 gear like he's auditioning for Narcos, the Baltimore edition. But the Democrats, oh, they're out here crying. He's just a hard-working family man. Yeah, right. And I am the next Elon Musk. But then the media jumps in. CNN, MSNBC, all the whiny crew, and their sad sob story, painting Garcia like a church deacon. But Homeland Security dropped a truth bomb. Garcia has a violent rap sheet. DOJ has the receipts. And this guy wasn't just cutting grass, he was cutting deals with gangs. But Van Hollen wants to fly him back into Maryland in time for the PTA meeting. Now, here's where it gets real stupid. A DOJ lawyer tried to sneak in the words wrongfully deported into court documents, but the Trump administration torched that lie. That lawyer is now an unemployed Democrat saboteur. Boo-hoo. Better luck at the AOC book club. The White House press secretary, she said it very, very clearly. This was a lawful deportation. Now, even if Van Hollen stuffed Garcia into his suitcase, ICE would have still sent him right back to El Salvador as soon as he got off the plane. So why the stunt, Van Hollen? Well, my guess, there's two options. Van Hollen actually believed that he could waltz into El Salvador, flash his U.S. Senate badge, and strong-arm their president into freeing Abrego Garcia. If so, Van Hollen is real dumb, way dumber than I thought he was. Option two, which is probably a little bit more logical, he just is pandering to his pink-haired open borders crowd over on TikTok, chasing headlines like a golden retriever with ADHD. And as a result, Senator, you're now trending as a moron. And the cherry on top, Van Hollen shows up demanding a meeting with President of El Salvador and calling Abrego his constituent. Bruh, he is a Salvadoran citizen. He is not your constituent. I bet Van Hollen is still Googling, is El Salvador part of Maryland? Really? But here's where it's not funny anymore. While Van Hollen was playing superhero for a gangbanger, he ignored his real constituent in Maryland, Rachel Marin, a U.S. citizen. She was raped and murdered by, guess, an illegal alien from El Salvador named Victor Martinez Hernandez. A jury convicted him on Monday. No debate, just pure evil. Rachel's mom, Patty, told her story at the White House. That monster killed her daughter with a rock and then left her to die. And Van Hollen? Not a word from him. He was too busy fighting for a gangster to care about his American constituents, his only constituents. Patty asked the real question. Why does Abrego Garcia have more rights than I do? or my daughter or my grandchildren? And that's the real question every American should be asking right now. Democrats like Van Hollen, they keep putting illegal aliens over American citizens, and they wonder why they got obliterated at the box office. They haven't learned a damn thing. So, Senator Van Hollen, you've earned it. You've earned the coveted Golden Clown Award for political idiocy. Take a bow. To everyone else, keep fighting a good fight. Don't let the left gaslight you into thinking that open borders are the norm. They are not, and they really, really should be stopped. Well, that's about it for now. I'm Bernie Flowers, one of Uncle Sam's wayward sons, and I thank you for tuning in to the Loyal Opposition Podcast. If you like what you heard, click on the like button, subscribe button, and share it with your friends. And remember, it's okay to disagree, but if we want our country to prosper, we must insist on unity, transparency, and civility from ourselves and our fellow citizens. I'd love to hear your opinion, so if time permits, drop me a comment. Until next time, stay vigilant, stay informed, and stay free.